She had never seen a more useless father. His daughter had spent 5 years in prison for a crime she didn't commit, yet never once asked him for help. To her, her father was nothing more than a drunk and a junkie. After her mother's death, she was raised by her grandmother. But now that her grandmother had fallen ill, her father was the only one who could visit. So she had no choice but to ask him to deliver a letter to her lawyer, hoping that her innocence could finally be proven. In Oklahoma, Bill had once worked as a driller, but after massive layoffs, he lost his job. Now he spent his days doing odd construction work and going to job interviews whenever possible. But for various reasons, no one would hire him. With time on his hands, he decided to fly to Marseille, France, to visit his imprisoned daughter. He first stopped by his late wife's mother's house. After her mother's death, his daughter had lived with her grandmother until she went to study abroad in Marseille, where tragedy struck. Now, 4 years after the incident, Bill boarded another plane to visit her once more, staying in the same hotel as before. Exhausted from the trip, he fell asleep immediately, only to be jolted awake by loud music. He stepped out onto the balcony and asked the neighbors to turn it down, but this was France. No one understood a word of English. The next day, Bill arrived at the prison. After going through all the security checks, he finally saw his daughter, Allison. This was the scene from the beginning. She handed him a letter to deliver to her lawyer. Following the address on the envelope, Bill went to the law office, but the lawyer, Leparc, was in court all week. That afternoon, Bill went to the courthouse, and after waiting patiently, he finally caught Leparc outside. He politely asked for a few minutes of her time and handed her the letter. After reading it, she told him she couldn't help Allison. Rumors couldn't serve as evidence, and she had already exhausted every possible legal option Allison would have to accept the verdict. The next day, Bill returned to the law office, hoping to meet Leparc again, but her assistant turned him away. Everything had already been made clear the day before, she said. If Bill wanted to keep investigating, she suggested he hire a private investigator, even handing him a list of names Bill refused. Not because he didn't want to, but because he simply couldn't afford it. Since the lawyer was no help, he went to the police station instead and repeated the story of the case that had happened 4 years earlier. 4 years ago, Allison had come to France to study, where she met a girl named Lena. The two started dating. One day, they had a terrible argument, and Allison went to a bar where she met a man named Akeem. After a few drinks together, Akeem stole her wallet. When Allison got home, she discovered Lena was dead. She immediately called the police, but since Akeem was never found, they concluded that Allison was the one who had killed her.